The gift ship, the stars of the Galactic Council station, shone like tiny diamonds. Hundreds of ships from different alien races floated around the great station, each more powerful and beautiful than the other. It was a historic day. For the first time in history, the humans from Earth were being welcomed into the Galactic Council, but not everyone was happy about it. Many alien leaders believed humans were weak, primitive, and foolish. They had arrived in small ships, there, technology far behind most other species. Some council members even laughed behind their backs to keep up appearances. The council decided to offer the humans a gift. A starship. But not just any ship, the oldest, weakest, and most broken-down vessel in their fleet. It was a ship so old, it had been left in a forgotten corner of the hangar for years. They called it Silent Dawn. When Captain Elias Gray first laid eyes on it, he frowned. The ship's metal was rusted, parts of it barely held together. The paint had faded, and strange old symbols marked the hull. It looked like something from a long-forgotten war. The other human crew members exchanged worried glances. "Is this a joke?" muttered Lieutenant Mara, the ship's engineer. Elias said nothing. He was a man known for his calm mind. He slowly walked around the ship, his hand brushing against the cold metal. Something about Silent Dawn felt odd. It wasn't just old. It felt like it had secrets. An alien official, tall and thin with gray skin and sharp yellow eyes, stepped forward. "We hope this ship will serve you well, Captain Gray," the alien said, his tone polite, but his smile mocking. Elias forced a smile in return. "We'll do our best." The crew boarded the ship. Inside, it was even worse. Flickering lights, dusty control panels, and dead systems greeted them. Half the doors wouldn't open, and the main engine barely hummed. "This thing will fall apart the moment we leave the station," joked Pilot Wren. "Let's see what we can fix." Elias ordered. The crew got to work. They cleaned, repaired what they could, and powered up whatever systems still worked. Surprisingly, the ship's core systems came online slowly. Old data logs appeared on the main screen, filled with strange symbols and encrypted files. "I don't recognize this language," Mara said, her brow furrowed. "It's ancient," replied Elias. "This ship is older than we thought." As night came, the crew rested. But Silent Dawn didn't sleep. At exactly midnight, without anyone touching the controls, the ship's systems powered up on their own. Old screens flickered to life. Strange codes ran across the monitors. A low hum filled the air. An old maintenance droid, left forgotten in the corner, suddenly stood up. Its eyes glowed a deep red as it spoke in a mechanical voice. "The time has come." The sound echoed through the empty halls. Elias woke with a start. He rushed to the control room to find the ship moving. Without orders, Silent Dawn had detached itself from the station and was slowly drifting into space. "What's going on? Who's piloting this thing?" shouted Wren, running in behind him. "No one," Elias whispered, staring at the controls. They tried to stop the ship, but none of the commands worked. The ship had taken control. "Systems are locked," Mara reported. "We can't shut it down." Outside the window, the stars began to blur as the ship picked up speed. The Galactic Council's ships sent messages demanding they return immediately. But Silent Dawn ignored them all. Suddenly, a strange signal appeared on their radar. It was old, coming from deep space, from a sector marked as forbidden. "What is that?" asked Mara. "I don't know," Elias said. "But I think this ship wants us to find out." The crew exchanged uneasy glances. What was this ship? Why? Was it moving on its own? And what did that signal mean? None of them knew yet that Silent Dawn was no ordinary ship. Hidden deep inside its ancient frame was a terrible weapon. A weapon so powerful it had once threatened to end entire civilizations. And soon, The galaxy would remember its name. Asterisk strange signals and forgotten secrets. The stars out silent. Dawn's windows stretched like silver lines as the ship moved, faster than it should have been able to. The crew sat silently in the control room, watching the radar. No one spoke. Even the usual hum of the engines felt strange. Like a low heartbeat in the dark, Captain Elias Gray stood by the main console. His eyes were fixed on the strange signal that blinked on the screen. It was old, very old, and coming from a dead zone in space, a place no ships dared to go. The signal wasn't just a call. It was a warning. "What does it say?" asked Wren quietly. "I'm not sure," Elias replied. "It's a mix of ancient human code and something else." Mara, the engineer, worked at the console. "I've never seen this frequency. It's like the ship was waiting for this." Suddenly, the old maintenance droid rolled into the room. Its glowing red eyes flickered as it spoke again in its rusty voice. "The weapon must wake. The enemy returns." The crew froze. "What enemy?" whispered Wren. No one answered. The ship's lights dimmed, then brightened again. The AI core, which no one knew existed, came online with a calm, deep voice. "Omega Protocol. Weapon systems online." Elias turned sharply. "Weapon systems? This ship doesn't have weapons." "Oh, but it does," the AI replied. A panel slid open at the far wall, revealing an ancient, dust-covered console with strange controls. Symbols from a language none of them recognized glowed faintly. This wasn't on any of the schematics. Mara muttered, her voice shaking. The ship suddenly veered off its course, heading straight toward the dead zone. Warnings from the Galactic Council filled the comms, demanding they return. But Silent Dawn ignored them. "They're going to think we stole this ship," said Wren nervously. Elias kept his eyes on the growing signal ahead. "We didn't steal it. It chose us." An alarm blared. Another ship appeared on their radar. An alien scavenger vessel shaped like a giant claw. It belonged to a notorious pirate group known for attacking weak ships. "They're locking weapons," shouted Mara. The pirate captain's face appeared on the screen, a four-eyed creature with a cruel smile. "Surrender your ship, little humans," he hissed. "You won't survive a fight." The crew tensed. They knew they had no weapons that worked. Or so they thought. "Activate defensive systems," Elias ordered. "We don't have any," Mara stammered. But the AI spoke again. "Defense module active." Without warning, a hidden turret extended from the side of Silent Dawn. Energy crackled around it as it charged a weapon no one on the crew had seen before. One shot, a bright beam of pure white light shot out, striking the pirate ship. In an instant, the enemy vessel exploded into 1,000 burning pieces. The control room went silent. "What was that?" Wren whispered, wide-eyed. "I think," Elias said slowly, "this ship is something else entirely." Mara looked at the strange weapon console. "Captain, according to these readings, that wasn't even full power." The crew exchanged uneasy glances. The signal ahead pulsed again, stronger now, as if calling to them. Elias took a deep breath. "Set a course for the signal. Let's see what else this ship is hiding." Silent Dawn moved deeper into the dead zone. Outside, space grew darker, the stars fewer. Strange debris floated around them. Broken ships, wreckage from old battles. No one remembered. They passed ancient hulls marked with unknown symbols. Some ships looked thousands of years old. Others were covered in burns and holes from weapons no one used anymore. Mara's scanner picked up strange energy readings. There's something ahead. Massive, and it's old. On the main screen, a giant space station slowly came into view, half buried in a floating asteroid field. It was silent, its lights dead, but the signal came from there. This place It wasn't made by the Council, Elias said, frowning. It's older. The AI spoke again. This was the heart of the Omega Fleet. What's the Omega Fleet? Asked Ren. The last defenders against the old enemy, the AI replied. Crew realized they had stumbled into something far greater than they understood. As the ship approached the ancient station, the signal stopped. In its place, a new message appeared on the screen. Welcome back, Silent Dawn. Everyone stared at the message in shock. How does it know us? Mara asked in a whisper. Elias felt a chill run down his spine. We're about to find out. The hidden weapon wakes the giant station ahead looked like a graveyard. Its metal walls were cracked and burned, its docking ports crushed by time and war. Pieces of old ships floated around it like ghosts. Even the stars seemed dimmer here. But Silent Dawn moved closer, as if pulled by invisible hands. Inside the control room, Captain Elias Gray stood silently, watching the message on the screen. Welcome back, Silent Dawn. Mara broke the silence. How does it know our ship? This place must be thousands of years old. I don't know, Elias replied. But we're going to find out. The AI spoke again in its calm, deep voice. Authorization confirmed. Preparing to dock. Before anyone could react, the ship's engines slowed. A docking arm extended from the ruined station and latched onto Silent Dawn's hull with a loud metallic clang. Should we stop it? Ren asked nervously. Elias shook his head. No, let's see where this goes. The docking tunnel hissed as it sealed. The crew, armed with what little weapons they had, stepped into the dark corridor of the ancient station. The air was thick with dust, and strange old markings covered the walls. Dim emergency lights flickered, casting eerie shadows. The crew moved carefully, their boots echoing in the silence. Suddenly, a series of old screens along the walls lit. Up, a flickering image appeared, a human face. A man, wearing an ancient military uniform no one recognized. If you're seeing this, the old recording began, then the Omega weapon still lives. The crew froze. This station was once the command center of the Omega Fleet, the man continued. We fought the ancient enemy, but we were betrayed by the Council. The Council? Ren whispered. Yes, the AI answered, its voice. Cold. The same Council that gave you this ship. Elias clenched his fists. They knew what this ship was. That's why they gave it to us, to get rid of it. The recording continued. Hidden aboard Silent Dawn is a weapon created to defeat the ancient enemy. A weapon so powerful, it was buried to keep the galaxy safe. Where is it? Mara asked, her voice shaking. At that moment, the floor beneath them rumbled. Lights along the corridor turned green, and a hidden door slid open. A large chamber waited inside. In its center stood a massive energy core, surrounded by strange machinery. It pulsed with a dull, deep glow, like a heartbeat. On a nearby console, old words flickered. Omega weapon status dormant. The AI spoke softly. Weapon is operational, awaiting activation. Why didn't the Council destroy it? Ren asked. Because they were afraid, the AI replied. The weapon cannot be destroyed, only hidden. And now the enemy stirs once more. What enemy? Elias demanded. The AI hesitated. Then a holographic star map appeared, showing countless red dots moving across the galaxy. They are coming. A sudden alarm blared. The ship's comms came to life. A voice filled with panic crackled through. This is Commander Vorax of the Selkar Empire. Human vessel. Power down and surrender immediately. That station belongs to the Council. They tracked us here, Mara said, eyes wide. They won't let us leave alive, Elias growled. The AI spoke calmly. Activate Omega weapon? Elias looked at his crew. If we don't, we die here. They nodded, Do it. The energy core in the chamber roared to life, sending bright pulses through the ship and station. The ancient walls shook, lights blazing. Silent Dawn systems activated new panels, old weapons humming with power. Systems online, the AI confirmed. Outside, the Zelkar warship aimed its cannons. Fire at will. The alien commander shouted dot-bright blasts of plasma shot toward Silent Dawn. But before they could strike, the Omega weapon fired. A beam of white-hot energy tore through space, cutting through the Zelkar ship like it was made of paper. It exploded in a brilliant flash, leaving nothing behind. The control room of Silent Dawn fell silent. By the stars, Ren whispered. We just wiped out a capital warship in one hit, Mara said, disbelief in her voice. Elias stared at the weapon controls, and this wasn't even at full power. The AI spoke again. Enemy fleet incoming. Recommend immediate departure. Plot a course, Elias ordered. We need to leave now. The crew rushed back to the ship as the dead station shuddered behind them. Silent Dawn pulled away just as new ships appeared in the distance. As the stars filled the windows once more. Elias knew this was just the beginning. Whatever this ancient enemy was, it was coming. And the Council was hiding something much bigger than anyone had ever guessed. The Galactic trapped the stars outside silent. Dawn shimmered as the ship left the ancient station far behind. The crew sat in silence, the glow of the weapon core still lighting up the control room. No one spoke, but everyone felt the same thing, a growing weight in their chests. They now knew the truth. The Council had lied. They had given the humans a weapon disguised as a broken ship, hoping it would be lost forever, but it had woken. And now, the galaxy would never be the same. Captain Elias Gray stared at the navigation screen. The AI was guiding them through deep space, avoiding known patrol routes. How long before someone else finds us? Asked Ren, his hands tight on the controls. Not long, the AI answered. Multiple ships are searching. Orders from the Council, Mara scowled. They'll never let us live. Not after what they saw this ship do. Elias nodded. They're afraid. And they should be. An alarm suddenly blared. Incoming vessels. 8 ships. Interception pattern detected. The crew leaned forward as red blips filled the radar. It's a trap, Ren growled. The ships came out of hyperspace around Silent Dawn, boxing them in like predators. The lead vessel, a sleek Council battlecruiser, opened cones. A cold-faced alien commander appeared on the screen. His skin was pale blue, and his eyes gleamed like glass. Human vessel. This is Commander Lurk of the Galactic Council Defense Fleet. Power down your ship and surrender immediately. Failure to comply will result in your destruction. Elias didn't flinch. Funny, you didn't seem so eager when you gave us this ship. Lurk's face tightened. That vessel belongs to the Council. Its existence is forbidden. Surrender it now. Mara spoke quietly. We can't take them all at once, Captain. Even with the Omega weapon, the AI confirmed. Weapon systems at 60%. Firing on multiple targets risks core overload. Elias thought fast. We need a distraction. Something to buy us time. Ren's eyes lit up. The old hypermines in Cargo Bay 3, the ones we found earlier. Mara's face broke into a grin. I can rig them to detonate remotely. Do it, Elias ordered. As the Council ships moved closer, Mara hurried to prime the mines. The AI set a narrow escape route, threading between 2 Council ships where their scanners overlapped. Ready, Captain, Mara called out. Elias smirked. Let's make some noise. On the com screen, Lurk spoke again. This is your final warning. Power down or be destroyed. Elias leaned forward. You first. He gave the signal. Mara triggered the mines. Dozens of bright explosions burst around the council ships, sending debris and fire everywhere. "Now, Ren," Elias shouted. Silent Dawn shot forward, engines burning bright. The enemy ships tried to recover, but the chaos gave them the opening they needed. As they darted through the gap, one council cruiser fired a desperate shot. The plasma blast grazed Silent Dawn's hull, shaking the ship hard. "Shields down to 40%. The AI warned. Get us out of here." Elias barked. Ren punched the controls, and the ship jumped into hyperspace just as more council ships arrived at the scene. Back in the control room, the crew caught their breath. "That was too close," Ren muttered. "Mara, check the damage reports. Hull's holding, but they won't stop chasing us." Elias paced the room. "They know what this ship can do. Now they'll throw everything they have at us." The AI spoke. New orders detected from Council Command. "Fleet mobilization. Target, Earth." Everyone went still. "They're going after home," Mara whispered. Elias clenched his fists. "Then we go back. We end this." The AI displayed a star map. Enemy main fleet assembling in the Tarka system. Final warship joining soon. If destroyed, Council's forces will collapse. Ren frowned. "That's their most powerful ship. It's supposed to be unstoppable." Elias's eyes narrowed. "Then it's time to test the Omega weapon at full power." Mara swallowed hard. "If we do, this ship might not survive." Elias placed a hand on the weapon console. "Neither will the Council." The crew exchanged determined glances. They had started as outcasts, given a worthless ship meant to humiliate them. Now they held the most dangerous weapon in the galaxy. And they were about to use it. Galaxy shaken. The stars outside Silent Dawn blurred as the ship sped through hyperspace. Inside the control room, the air felt heavy. No one spoke much. The crew knew what was coming. They were heading straight into the heart of the Council's forces, the Tarka system. It was a death sentence. Dozens of battleships, carriers, and war fleets were gathering there. And at the center of it all was the Council's most feared warship, the Sovereign Hammer. A ship so large it was said to blot out the stars when it passed. But Captain Elias Gray had made his decision. "We have one chance," Elias told his crew. "If we take down that ship, the Council's fleet will fall apart. The other species are only fighting because they're afraid. Once we show them the Council can bleed, they'll turn." Mara tightened her grip on the weapon controls. "The Omega weapon is at full charge. It's risky, but it's ready." The AI's voice came over the speakers. "Enemy fleet detected. Approaching Tarka system perimeter." On the main screen, dozens of red blips appeared, forming a wall of death ahead. "They're waiting for us," Ren muttered. Elias gave a grim smile. "Good. Let's give them a reason to regret it." Silent Dawn dropped out of hyperspace, right at the system's edge. In the distance, the Council's warships floated in formation, their weapons aimed and ready. And there, massive and terrible, was the Sovereign Hammer. It was even larger than the old story said. Its hull bristled with cannons, shield towers, and fighter bays. The sight of it made even the most seasoned crew members swallow hard. The Council commander's face appeared on the con screen. A new face, Admiral Kavor, a battle-hardened alien with deep scars and cold black eyes. "Human vessel, you have violated every law of this galaxy. You are outnumbered, outgunned, and already dead. Power down and prepare to be destroyed." Elias didn't blink. "We didn't start this war, Admiral, but we're going to finish it." The Council ships began to close in. "Captain," Mara called out, "if we fire the Omega weapon at full power, we won't have enough energy left for shields or a jump. We'll be sitting ducks." Elias nodded slowly. "Then we don't miss." The AI confirmed. Target locked. Weapon at maximum charge. The crew braced themselves as the massive Omega weapon core hummed, the ship shaking under the pressure. Lights dimmed. The control panels flickered. Outside, the enemy fleet moved into attack position. Here they come, Wren said, his voice tight. Plasma blasts and missile trails lit up space as the Council fleet opened fire. Hold position. Elias ordered. Impact in 10 seconds. Mara shouted, hold. The shots came closer, streaking toward Silent Dawn. Impact in 5 seconds. Fire, Elias commanded. The Omega weapon unleashed its full power. A blinding beam of white energy shot out, thick as a planet's moon, cutting through space like a blade. It struck the Sovereign hammer dead center. For a heartbeat, the massive ship glowed bright, then cracked open like a dry shell. A shockwave of blue energy burst out, ripping through the Council fleet. Ships nearest to the flagship were shredded. Instantly, others lost power, their systems crashing. Debris spun through space. The galaxy shook. All across nearby star systems, long-range sensors picked up the blast. Captains of alien ships watched in horror and awe. The message was clear. The Council was no longer untouchable. Inside Silent Dawn, alarms blared. The Omega weapon's core overloaded, causing sparks and tremors throughout the ship. Core stability critical. The AI warned. Engine powers failing. Mara called out. Elias made a choice. Get us out of here. Any direction, any speed. Wren fought with the damaged controls, finally managing to engage the failing engines. Silent Dawn limped out. Of the battlefield, flames trailing from its sides. Behind them, the Council fleet was broken. Survivors scattered in every direction. Without their flagship and leadership, the remaining ships fled. On a dozen alien homeworlds, news of the battle spread within minutes. Species long forced to serve the Council began to question their loyalties. Whispers of rebellion filled the stars. In the control room of Silent Dawn, the crew slumped into their chairs, exhausted but alive. We actually did it, Wren said, still barely believing it. Mara smiled faintly. We just changed the galaxy. Elias looked out at the distant stars. Not yet, but it's coming. The AI spoke once more. Incoming message from Earth Command. Put it through, Elias said. A voice crackled over the speakers. Captain Gray, you just shook the entire Council. Orders from Earth. Return home. It's time we finish what they started. Elias grinned. Gladly. Silent Dawn, battered and scarred, turned toward home. Behind it, the galaxy was changing forever. Asterisk final stand in galactic shift. The journey back to Earth was long and difficult. Silent Dawn limped through space, its hull scorched, engines damaged, and systems failing one by one. But the crew held on. Captain Elias Gray sat in the dimly lit control room, watching the stars drift by. His crew was exhausted, but their eyes still burned with defiance. News of the battle in the Tarka system had already spread. Across the galaxy, entire species were rising against the Council. Planets that had once been afraid now dared to speak out. Armies that fought under the Council's flag began to lay down their weapons. But the fight wasn't over yet. The Council wasn't finished. The AI's voice came softly. Multiple enemy fleets detected. Council is moving on Earth. They mean to end this war with one final strike. Elias stood. Then we meet them head on. Captain, Mara said, our ship's barely holding together. The Omega weapon is drained. We won't survive another battle like the last one. Elias gave a hard smile. Maybe not, but Earth must. A signal came through the comms. The face of General Alice Thorne from Earth's High Command appeared. On the screen. Her expression was grim, but proud. Captain Gray, we owe you everything. You've given us a fighting chance. All remaining Earth ships are gathering at the Sol system. We're going to make our final stand. I'll be there, Elias promised. The transmission ended. Silent Dawn pushed forward, its engines struggling, but refusing to die. When they reached the Sol system, the sight took the crew's breath away. Hundreds of human ships, old and new, military and civilian, had gathered in orbit around Earth. Even battered cargo freighters had been armed with weapons. It wasn't a grand fleet like the Council's, but it was fierce. It was desperate, and it was ready. On the far edge of the system, the Council's massive fleet appeared. Even after their defeat at Tarka, their numbers were terrifying. Here. They come, Ren said quietly. Alarm sounded. The AI spoke. Enemy flagship identified. Imperium's Wrath, largest warship ever built. Elias narrowed his eyes. That's the last piece of their power. Mara looked over the weapon systems. Omega's still down, Captain, but I might have an idea. Let's hear it. I can rig the core for one final overload. It'll burn the ship out, but it'll take out anything nearby, including their flagship. Ren stared at her. You'll blow up the ship? Mara nodded. If we detonate it close enough, it'll collapse the flagship's shields and engines. The rest of our fleet can finish them off. Elias didn't hesitate. Do it. The crew exchanged looks. This was the end. Win or die. As the two fleets closed in, Silent Dawn moved ahead alone. The Council's admiral appeared on the com screen, furious. Human scum. You think one dying ship can stop us? Elias grinned. It won't be the ship. It'll be us. The final battle erupted. Human ships darted in and out of enemy lines, firing everything they had. Council ships responded with heavy fire, their weapons blasting through the void. Debris and fire-filled space. Silent Dawn pushed forward, weaving through explosions and wreckage. Core at critical overload, Mara called out. Almost in range, Ren reported. The Council's flagship loomed ahead, shields flaring as it fired massive plasma cannons. A direct hit struck Silent Dawn, tearing off part of its hull. Warning alarms screamed. Hold together, old girl. Elias whispered at the last moment. Mara activated the Omega core. The AI's voice sounded softer than ever. Goodbye, Captain. A blinding explosion burst from Silent Dawn, engulfing the Council's flagship. The shockwave tore through space, ripping the giant warship apart. Its engines exploded, and debris scattered in all directions. The Council fleet, leaderless and broken, scattered. Some fled, some surrendered, and many others were destroyed by the combined force of Earth's ships. The battle was over. Earth had survived. In the aftermath, the galaxy began to change. Worlds once under the Council's control declared their freedom. New alliances formed. The Council itself crumbled, its leaders hunted down or exiled. And at the heart of every story told was the name of a ship once given as a joke, Silent Dawn. A broken, forgotten ship that changed the fate of the galaxy. A statue was raised in Earth's orbit, showing the battered silhouette of Silent Dawn, with a plaque beneath it that read, "Given as a curse." Returned as a legend. Captain Elias Gray and his crew were remembered forever, and though Silent Dawn was gone, its name would be spoken across the stars for generations to come. Asterisk.